What's up, everybody? Today we'll be talking about a truck driver that was arrested for being 6 times over the legal limit. Now, he was trying to dodge the breathalyzer test. He was trying to do everything he could to avoid going to jail, but in the end, he still got busted. And I find it's a really interesting interaction between a drunk driver and a cop. Now, without further ado, let's get into it.
What's your name?
Doing good.
What's your name? Johnny? Alright, Johnny, I'm Officer Trunkos. I'm with the New Mexico State Police, okay? So, is there anything in the truck we need to know about? Have any alcohol, any drugs today?
No drugs.
Okay. Any alcohol today?
Yeah.
How much have you had?
Not today. Last night.
How much did you have last night?
Maybe a little bit.
A little bit? Okay. Do you have any weapons or anything on you I need to know about?
No.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to make sure you're good to go, okay? So we're going to run through some standardized field sobriety tests. Go and take your headset off. Can you hear me okay? Okay.
So as he was sitting down, in my opinion, he doesn't look that drunk. He's pretty coherent. But as he's going to stand up and start doing the test, you could tell that he's a little bit wobbly. Now, he's not failing the tests themselves, but you can tell that he has a hard time staying still and that his balance is impaired.
Alright, sir, for this first test, I want you to put your feet together and your arms down at your side, okay? Feet all the way together. Just like mine. Alrighty. Cool. Do you wear glasses typically or contacts or anything? You do wear glasses? Okay, can you see my finger? Okay. Alright, I just want you to follow my finger with your eyes only and don't move your head, okay? Do you have any questions, sir? Alright, just follow my finger. Ready? Keep looking at it. Okay, we're going to start this again, okay? Take your breather. Alright? Okay. Just keep just like that. See my finger okay? Follow it with your eyes only and don't move your head, okay? Okay. All right, you see this yellow line?
You gotta excuse me. You kind of making me nervous.
I'm making you nervous?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't mean to make you nervous. We're just doing the standardized field sobriety test. Make sure you're good to go, okay?
So next, the officer asks him to stand on one leg or to walk in a straight line. The guy doesn't want to. He says he has a leg injury. So then the officer moves to other types of questioning. And this is where the drunkenness starts to really show.
Real simple. Did you graduate high school?
No.
What was the highest grade level you went to?
GED.
You got a GED? Okay. All right. So I want you to count backwards from the number 47 to 32. Go.
47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 32.
Okay. All right. You know your alphabet, okay? You're not going to say it backwards, okay? So I want you to start at the letter F as in Frank. Don't sing it, just start at F and end at T as in Tom, okay? F to T.
Forward or back?
Forward. F to T. Go.
F G H I Hold on. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. I know my alphabets.
Okay.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. And you said go to what?
T, as in Tom.
Now, this guy is so wasted that he's even holding on to the mirror of his truck to keep his balance. And the thing that really drives me mad with these drunk drivers, especially in this case, this guy is driving a massive truck. Think of the rampage he could cause if he would fall asleep at the wheel. It could be a total catastrophe. I think we can all agree that drunk driving is terrible and no one should do it.
You confused me. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. I know my alphabets, man.
Okay. Step right over here, okay?
1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Done? Okay. So when was the last time you had a drink?
I said last night.
Last night? Okay.
Man, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Would you take a breath test?
I mean, I got some what you call it? Mouthwash
When's the last time you used mouthwash?
a few minutes ago.
A few minutes ago? Okay. Do me a favor, okay? Put your hands behind your back.
You arrested me?
Yes, sir. And now you're being placed under the
For what? I didn't refuse nothing.
for operating a motor vehicle under the influence.
I didn't refuse nothing.
Let's see. Turn your wrist this way.
You ain't even proved me
Okay.
be intoxicated or nothing.
Based on the standardized field sobriety test, yes, sir, I do.
Man, my
Hold on.
leg messed up, man.
Okay.
That's the only reason I couldn't.
You got
stand
anything
it.
on you that's gonna stick, poke me, stab me?
No.
No weapons on you? What do you have in your pocket here?
Money.
Money? Change?
So now he's brought to the station, and this is where things get really interesting, because there's going to be a duel as to if he's going to accept to do the test or not. And his whole excuse is that he thinks that the test will not work because he just used mouthwash. And we all know that's bullshit. The machine is able to tell the difference between mouthwash and someone that's drunk. And he knows that, but he's really trying to avoid the breathalyzer at all costs.
So I need you to listen to me because I'm about to tell you something very important, okay? You are under the influence for operating a motor vehicle under the influence. Driving under the influence, okay? The New Mexico Implied Consent Act requires you to submit a breath test to determine the alcohol content of your blood. After you take our test, you have the right to choose an additional independent test. If you choose to take this additional independent test, you have the right to a reasonable opportunity to arrange for a physician, a licensed nurse, or laboratory technician or technologist who is employed by a hospital or physician of your own choice to perform an additional chemical test. The cost of this test will be paid for by the law enforcement agency. Do you agree to take our test?
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Shouldn't that mouthwash affect it?
No.
It's not going to affect it
Nope.
because that mouthwash got alcohol in it.
Right. But it's not going to affect it.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to start over, okay? I want you to listen to me. I'm about to tell you something very important. You are under arrest for driving under the influence. The New Mexico Implied Consent Act requires you to submit a breath test to determine the alcohol content of your blood. After you take our test, you have the right to choose an additional independent test. If you choose to take this additional independent test, you have the right to a reasonable opportunity to arrange for a physician, a licensed nurse, or laboratory technician or technologist who is employed by a hospital or physician of your own choice to perform an additional chemical test. The cost of this additional test will be paid for by the law enforcement agency. Do you agree to take our test?
Can I take a blood test instead?
Do you rather do a blood test?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll read you this, okay? I want you to listen to me. I'm about to tell you something very important. You are under arrest for driving under the influence. I am requesting that you consent to have your blood drawn and tested and determine the alcohol and/or drug content of your blood. You have the right to refuse to consent to my request. If you refuse to consent, you cannot face any criminal penalties for your refusal. Do you understand that right?
Say that again.
You have the right to refuse to consent to my request. If you refuse to consent, you cannot face criminal penalties for your refusal. Do you understand that right?
That don't sound right.
That's what it says.
So you saying I can refuse the blood test,
You can refuse a breath test too.
but the breath test gonna go on my license?
So with the blood.
So here it gets pretty interesting because he could refuse to take the test, but then he would lose his license for a year. And if he's a truck driver, that means he's not making any more money that year. And on top of that, if he refuses, he could face increased jail time and more severe penalties. So he knows not to refuse it, but he's still trying to go the route to go for the blood test. Basically, he's trying to buy time so that the concentration of alcohol in his blood lowers.
So let's start again, okay? Let's start with the breath. Let me read through the breath first. Okay? And then we'll move on to blood. If that's what you want to do. So I want you to listen to me. I'm about to tell you something very important. You are under the influence, you are under arrest for driving under the influence. The New Mexico Implied Consent Act requires you to submit a breath test to determine the alcohol content of your blood. After you take our test, you have the right to choose an additional independent test. If you choose to take this additional independent test, you have the right to a reasonable opportunity to arrange for a physician, a licensed nurse, or laboratory technician or technologist who is employed by a hospital or physician of your own choice to perform an additional chemical test. The cost of the additional test will be paid for by the law enforcement agency. Do you agree to take our test?
Now read the blood.
Hold on, we're not done yet. This is for the breath. Do you agree to take our test?
Well, I gotta know what both of them say.
I'll read the blood after.
I can't deny it because if I deny it,
Okay, I want you to listen to me, okay? So, we're going to read the blood. Did you hear what I said about the additional chemical test?
yeah.
Okay, so do you understand that? If you choose to take, excuse me. I'm going to start this one more time. I want you to listen to me, okay? All right. I want you to listen to me. I'm about to tell you something very important. You are under arrest for driving under the influence. The New Mexico Implied Consent Act requires you to submit a breath test to determine the alcohol content of your blood. After you take our test, you have the right to choose an additional independent test. If you choose to take this additional independent test, you have the right to a reasonable opportunity to arrange for a physician, a licensed nurse, or laboratory technician or technologist who is employed by a hospital or physician of your own choice to perform an additional chemical test. The cost of this additional test will be paid for by the law enforcement agency. Do you agree to take our breath test?
I prefer to take the blood test.
Okay. I cannot force you to take our test, but if you refuse, you will lose your New Mexico driver's license or non-resident operating privilege for 1 year. If you are convicted in court of driving while under the influence, you may also receive a greater sentence because you refuse to be tested. Do you understand?
For the blood test?
This is for the breath test.
I thought you said I could take either or.
That's not what I'm going down right now. I want you to listen to me, okay? So I'm asking you about the breath test. You haven't given me an answer on the breath test. So again, I cannot force you to take our test, but if you refuse, you will lose your New Mexico driver's license or non-resident operating privilege for 1 year. If you are convicted in court of driving while under the influence, you may also receive a greater sentence because you refuse to be tested. Do you understand?
Mexico driver's license.
Right, but you do have a non-resident operating privilege. So basically, you wouldn't be able to drive in New Mexico. Okay?
But I don't have to
You don't have to what?
drive in New Mexico.
Okay. So do you agree to be tested using a breath test?
By blood.
Do you agree to be tested by a breath test? I need a yes or no answer.
But I can't tell you that because I don't know what the blood. I prefer to get the blood test.
I really have no sympathy for these drunk drivers, to be honest. I know this video is a little bit more serious than what we usually deal with on this channel, but I found it was a really interesting interaction, how he's trying so hard to avoid the breath test, and he knows that the blood test will at least take a couple hours to get done, so he's trying to buy time. But when he finally does take the test, we're gonna understand just how wasted this guy actually was.
To be tested by a breath test. I need a yes or no answer.
But I can't tell you that because I don't know what the blood. I prefer to get the blood test.
Okay. But I'm asking if you want to take a breath test.
The reason why I don't want to take the breath test is because I've been taking mouthwash. And the mouthwash got alcohol in it.
Okay.
So that's why I don't want to take that.
Okay. I'm going to ask you again. Do you agree to be tested?
Yeah, I agree to be tested, but by blood.
Okay. So here in New Mexico, I'm asking if you want to take a breath test. I'm not asking if you want to take a blood test.
The blood test would be more efficient.
But whose standard?
It's pretty much like common sense, because if I've been taking mouthwash and brushing my teeth with mouthwash and stuff like that.
Okay. I'm not smelling mouthwash on your breath.
It gotta be what you smelling.
It's not. I know what mouthwash smells like, and I know what ethanol, ETOH, smells like on a person. So I'm asking you if you agree to be tested, yes or no?
I'm not gonna disagree with it.
That's not a yes or no answer. Do you agree to be tested or not?
Do I gotta say yeah?
Okay. So I consider your actions to be a refusal to be tested.
It's not a refusal.
Okay, well, you're not giving me anything.
Now this guy keeps dancing around the pot. He's dodging the questions. He won't give a straight answer. But anyways, he's going to take the test in the end because he doesn't want to lose his license.
You're saying you don't want to, but you do want to, but you don't want to. So I'm asking you straight up right now. Do you agree to be tested? Yes or no?
I'm trying to give you a test.
Okay.
But you don't want
I'm not asking about your blood test. I'm asking about the breath test.
I could take either or. That's what that's saying.
Doesn't say that anywhere on there.
It ain't saying I gotta take one. It ain't saying that either. So I take the blood test. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I got alcohol in my system, man. I might even flunk the blood test. But I've been doing that mouthwash, so I know with the alcohol being in the mouthwash, I'ma basically flunk the breath test.
Okay.
So you trying to make me flunk?
I'm not trying to make you flunk. This instrument right here, it detects the difference between mouthwash and alcohol. Alcoholic beverages.
Man, just let me take the blood test, man. Just let me take the blood test.
You can take both. So right now I'm taking your actions for the breath test as a refusal.
It's not a refusal.
Okay, then what is it? It's a refusal for the breath, right?
No,
You said you didn't want to take it, correct?
I'm afraid because I've been doing the mouthwash.
Okay.
Because I know mouthwash got alcohol in it.
Okay, so you don't want to take the breath test, correct?
I'm afraid.
You're afraid to take the breath test.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm asking you straight up, do you want to take the breath test or not?
It don't say on there I gotta do it.
Okay. I'm going to take your actions as a refusal, okay?
It's not a refusal.
All right. Give me your leg.
Sir, it's not a refusal.
All right. Okay, sit tight for a minute.
So fast forward a little bit later, he finally takes the test, and then he will pretty much seal his fate when it comes to court, because he will have no defense. He is clearly drunk driving, and with a super massive truck on top of that. Really, really dangerous stuff. I honestly cannot stand drunk drivers.
So back to my question. Do you agree to take our test?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I want to take the blood test too. I'm going to take both of them.
Only goes so far. I need you to lean forward. Put your mouth around the mouthpiece. Take a deep breath. You'll hear a tone. Keep going till the tone stops. All right. All right. Once again, deep breath.
I thought I just took the test.
It takes 2 samples, just to be sure. All right.
Why it says 0.25?
That's your breath alcohol content. You blew a 0.25.
That's because of the mouthwash. I keep telling you.
That's not because of the mouthwash. If it was mouthwash, did you drink? Or you know, I'm not even going to question. So the 0.25 was your result.
So that means I wasn't intoxicated.
No, that means you're like... So the legal limit for a passenger vehicle is 0.08, right?
No, that's for a car.
Yeah, that's for a car.
For 18 wheelers, 0.04.
Exactly, 0.04, right?
Yeah.
You blew a 0.25.
That's legal.
That's not legal. Legal is 0.04. 0.25 is, let's see. So you got to be a 0.04, right? So 0.04, 0.08, 0.12, 0.16, 0.20. So you're about 6 times over the legal limit for a CMV driver, sir. Alrighty. So let me get the paperwork finished up. Like I said, a copy of this will be going with you as well.
Just bring me my wallet.
Okay.
This guy wasted so much time when he should have just taken the test right away. He is wasted 6 times over the legal limit for driving a truck of that size, which is crazy. Now, I know not everybody likes the cops, but taking away drunk drivers from the road is really important. It's crucial because a guy like this could have caused a massive accident. Anyways, like I said, sorry if this video is a little bit more serious than usual. I just thought it was a really, really interesting interaction. This guy was trying so hard to avoid going to jail, but in the end he got what he deserved and he wasn't able to kill anybody that night. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the videos, and we'll see you on the next one.